G'day YouTube, it's that swearing Aussie guy 69 here again, and I got the second part of my Pauline Hanson video for you right now. Apologies for the audio quality. I know it will be really shit because of this microphone, but hey, fuck. You know what's a cunt to do. So anyway, let's get into it and start with Simon Birmingham, who's responding to a question about Pauline Hanson's Royal Commission into Islam. And let's just hear what he has to say for a sec.
We'll hear from Simon Birmingham first. The Royal Commission that was suggested in the question. I presume the government will rule that out.
Indeed, Tony. Now, Cindy, wasn't it? Cindy, I understand your concerns. Your concerns as a Muslim woman living in Australia, that you are worried, as I know many others are, about your place in Australia and the type of country we are in welcoming you. We also have to acknowledge there are around 500,000 Australians who voted for Pauline's party. They have worries and...
Yeah, so it surprises me that 500,000 people voted for Pauline Hanson, but fuck, there's 24 million people in Australia as of 2016, so it's not a fucking massive majority. Anyway, it shouldn't be enough to have 3 fucking Senate seats. I mean, they've done, fuck, the way preferencing works in this country is just completely fucked. So that's a subject for another video, but so anyway, this prick rattles on for a few minutes, you know, lovey-dovey, preachy harmony, fucking very rare for a Liberal politician. He's not completely full of shit, but he is full of shit. Then he gets to this point here, which I'm going to play for you.
About calm and rational conversation that needs to be had over this. Do you believe that a call for a Royal Commission, that a call for banning all Muslims from coming to Australia as immigrants, do you believe that falls into that category? Because that's part of the One Nation platform.
No, I don't think a Royal Commission would be at all helpful, and I don't think that bans on certain categories of people are ever helpful, Tony. So
yeah, so I'm going to cut this fucking give off right here. So this guy's from the Liberal Party, and if you're not familiar, they've had a policy which is basically a fucking blanket ban on a group of people coming into this country, which is anyone arriving here by boat. I mean, it's not illegal to come here by boat and seek asylum, but fucking these Liberal pricks just lock them up in offshore detention centres, and that's been their policy. And this is the sort of fucking backflipping that the ABC needs to fucking pull them up on. Because, you know, here he's playing all, you know, harmony and fucking unity and all that shit. But it's, you know, it's clearly not what the Liberals' fucking policies support. So, yeah, I just wanted to make that point real quick. Moving on to the next questioner. She asks this question.
Caroline Freckleton.
Good evening, panel, and thank you for the debate. It's been very interesting so far. With the proposed increases in Muslim refugees and probably the fairly rapid growth in the population of the Muslim group, a lot of Australians are concerned that many Muslims are not willing to fully integrate into our community. So my main question is, do you think politicians are being extremely arrogant or extremely naive in thinking they can change the 1400 years of indoctrination when integration has been largely a failure or resulted in only a barely tolerated coexistence wherever large Muslim populations exist in Western countries? And secondly, a minor question, but is the dinner for leaders of the Islamic community held by Prime Minister Turnbull recently evidence of the growing political power of that group?
So anyway, we got this old cunt waffle worried about refugees and immigration, which is what most old cunt waffles spend all their fucking time worrying about anyway. So her main concern is that not everyone who comes to this country and immigrates is willing to become exactly like she fucking is. So, which is probably a good fucking idea, because if we were all this fucking stupid, God help us. And this bitch is also worried about that Malcolm Turnbull threw a dinner and invited a whole bunch of different religious leaders and representatives to have dinner with him and have a chat. I wonder if she shares the same concerns about a few years ago. Joe Hockey had a dinner, a Liberal Party fundraising dinner, where he'd listen to people and talk to people, and it was like $50,000 a head to get in or some shit. I'll try and link to a news article about it in the descriptions below. So yeah, anyway, this bitch is a complete cunt. So moving on. The guy from the Labor Party has this to say in response.
Sam Dacier, I'll bring you in. The questioner asked whether politicians are being naive or extremely arrogant in relation to Islam.
I think we're being neither. Look, I look at this and I can't not but look at this from my kind of personal story. I was born in a small town in northern Iran. When someone like Sonia Kruger goes on this morning and talks about banning Muslims from coming to the country, or it's black and white in Pauline Hanson's policy document, what they're effectively saying is people like my parents shouldn't have been allowed to come to this country because of where they were born. And it's hurtful and it's painful. And I look at just what my parents, and not just them, but so many other Muslim Australians, so many other migrants, so many other, the hundreds of thousands of migrant stories. And when I look at, Ms Hanson, when I look at your policy document that turns around and says that we should be banning Muslims from coming to this country, I have to ask, does that mean that a 5-year-old Sam Dastiari should never have been able to set foot in Australia because somewhere in Tehran there's a document that sits that says beside my name the word Muslim because of where I was born?
Are you a Muslim?
So I don't know whether that was comic timing or the audience laughing at Pauline's ignorance, but like, just fuck.
Really? Why? Gee whiz.
Nope, they're laughing at the fact that she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and I've never hidden away, no.
So were you sworn in under the Quran?
You know, I'm laughing at the fact that she's a complete fucking idiot.
I was born in an Islamic nation, and by
So
being
you're a
born
Muslim?
in an
Yes, he's a fucking Muslim.
Islamic nation, I was born and under Iranian law, under Islamic law, under places like Iran, and my parents fled.
I know
Fled
you were
to be able
practicing
to come to
Muslim.
this
This is
country.
quite interesting. Are
No,
you practicing
no.
Muslim?
So what? Miss Hanson, I think you're trying to make a joke of
Yeah, trying to make a joke. There's something. It's like a fucking. Just trying to write a skit comedy with her life. I mean, there's something so fucking hilarious about this old racist woman sitting on a panel TV show, and then she finds out the bloke that she's been sitting next to for the past fucking 16 minutes is a fucking Muslim. I mean, there's some fucking comedy gold in that. If I ever write a sitcom, that might go in. Like, yeah, it is fucking funny, but it's funny because she's a fucking idiot.
what is
No,
a
I'm
serious...
surprised. I didn't
I think
know
you're
that
making a
about
joke.
you.
What, because he doesn't have three heads?
Well, because I have to... Miss Hanson, when you have a policy document that says in black and white we should be banning Muslims from coming to this country, I can't help but
I think we
interpret
need
it
to put a
about what it
moratorium.
means.
Well, I
for
think we
people
need
like
a
my
moratorium.
family and
Well,
the hundreds of thousands
and-
of migrants who've come from the Middle East and from around the world. Yes, it's very personal.
And you mentioned Sonia Kruger. I'm saying, go Sonia, because I think it's great that someone actually is standing up because she's expressed her feelings about it. She referred to Japan, that, for a population of 127 million people who actually have 100,000, they don't have terrorism on this.
Little off topic, but the fucking Japanese actually invented flying planes into buildings. Well, battleships, but it inspired a lot of modern terrorism.
Streets. You've got Brussels now, the biggest Muslim, state there with them 300,000 in there. You've got 10% in France. You have the problems on the streets of France.
So you wouldn't have let
Islam.
5-year-old
What's-
Sam Dastiari into the country?
Oh, right.
No, no,
I'm
No, that's a
just
serious
ignoring
question.
it.
Would you have allowed a
That-
5-year-old Sam Dastiari into this country? I came to this country on the 16th of January 1988,
Yep.
2 weeks before the bicentenary celebrations, and my family has done nothing but contribute to this country since they've been here. And yes, they
Thank
came
you,
from a
Sam.
Muslim country.
I'm so happy that you've come here to Australia.
So, but Pauline
That's-
Hanson, could you...
All right.
What a fucking condescending little cunt. Like, honestly, she sticks her hand out to shake the man's hand just to be fucking condescending to add to this fucking joke she's telling. Because right now she's just got to fucking bullshit her way out of this hole she's dug into herself into, and it's fucking hilarious.
Just answer the very
All right.
basic question that he
The
threw
basic
up
question
there.
is, what-
Would you be happy to see him blocked from someone in his position
Okay.
now,
you-
who's being persecuted in another country
Well, you
that
asked
happens to
families
be hang on, just finish. That happens to be a Muslim. Would you be happy to see that 5-year-old blocked from coming here?
Muslims have been a part of Australia for a long, long time, many, many years. When you go back to the gold rush days and they were in here in Australia. But it's only in the last, 10, 20 years that we have seen a rise of terrorism on the streets. You've got to ask yourself the question, why? Why is it
Because
happening?
we invaded their countries, Pauline.
It's not about invading their
Because we went
countries
to
and
war
so
with
that's
their
rubbish.
nations
So
and
that- so
killed
that-
their people.
So that's
So,
the
Ms.
reason
Hanson,
why
a
they
5-year-old
should-
Sam
so they
Bastiari
should-
can't come to this country now, but I could have come 28 years ago.
Sam, we have problems now. To take it back there, that's absolutely ridiculous, what you're talking about. All right?
That is exactly what we're talking about. It's in your...
Don't be ridiculous, Sam. 28 years ago, it was all the fucking Asians' fault.
policy document. It's black and white in your policy document.
Sam, you're talking about something that's ridiculous back when? How long ago? How
I
old
came
are
to this
you?
country 28 years ago.
That's 28 years ago. We're talking about now, what is happening now and today in the world with the terrorist attacks.
So
and
today I
terrorist
couldn't come to this
All
country.
right, sorry,
28 years ago.
I'm going to put you both on hold because we've actually got... I'm going to come to our next question.
So yeah, I think I'm going to leave the video here for now. There won't be a part 3 to this because the rest of the session, the panels, just more of the same bullshit. It's reached the fucking probably clearest illustration of what a cunt Pauline Hanson was just then. So I've been that swearing Aussie guy, 69. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, share, all that bullshit.